Hey guys, it's India,
Natalie,
and guys, we are at Turkey Hill. Natalie, say hi. We are at Turkey Hill, and we are just grabbing a couple of items for this road trip. This is actually our first road trip, all three of us together. So I'm really excited. Hey guys, so we got our drinks. This is actually the newest design that they have, which is really cute. Natalie, what did you get?
I got a matcha latte with oat milk and iced.
I got a vanilla bean frappuccino with almond milk, no whipped cream, and caramel drizzle. So we're gonna try it now. Cheers.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10, 10 out of 10. Hey guys, it's India and Natalie, and we are in our dormitory. Wow. Look at it, guys. What score are we at, Natalie? So, what score are we at?
American University.
Woo! What floor are we on?
On the 4th floor.
Period. Big four, big four.
Okay.
Hey y'all, it's India. So we have just finished speaking to two alumni. Now we are heading to another event. I'm gonna try to remember to keep you guys updated on the specifics, but it is going to be quite busy. But yes, so we are at American University. This is where we're staying. Oh, do you want to say hi?
No.
Yeah, guys, so this is American University. And yeah, we're very, very excited. This is my fit for today. The event that we're going to, we're dressing business casual. So that's great because I've been wanting to dress up for quite some time. But yeah, guys, so I'll keep you guys updated.
Okay, wait, this looks so much better.
Hey y'all, so I'm here with
Natalie, Jayla,
and we are about to get to the metro because we're going to
the National Mall. Oh yes, National Mall.
Period. So are you guys, is this your first time on the DC Metro?
Yes,
or?
I'm scared. I don't know where I'm going, y'all. India and Natalie, they're gonna save me, however.
Period.
Oh, is that our
So
train?
yeah, we'll keep you all updated. Our train is here. Hey y'all, so me and my partner Richie, we are getting on the metro.
Yo,
Wow.
it's a metro.
Is this your first time on the DC Metro?
No,
How many times have you gone on?
once.
So yeah guys, so this is the metro, and yeah, we're really excited.
Sick because NIL lets people go.
Ilo, you want a picture in front of this Capitol building? Sure.
Yeah, chicken.
What were we talking about?
I don't know. Hey guys, so
Yo.
I'm with Richie and we are,
In DC.
yeah,
We
are
just
in
visited
DC.
UC in DC, the University of California's program in DC. I met some cool guys.
Up on you guys later. Later.
So, what are your thoughts about the Washington Monument and what we learned today with Emily?
My thoughts are quite similar actually, in the sense that Emily was speaking about how her trajectory wasn't wasn't the common way that I feel like a lot of people would say their path to success would be. I really appreciate her mentioning the fact that she was involved in several nonprofit organizations and how she relied on those nonprofit organizations in order to make meaningful connections. And I think that is very aligned with the Washington Monument, in the sense that this monument is a symbolism of unity, is a symbolism of our nation and what we dedicate this country and our resources to. And the fact that Emily was speaking about the unity and the opportunities that she received from different communities and different areas that she was a part of directs closely with what we are about to explore, being the central attention of the United States of America. So I'm very, very pleased with the conversation, and I'm so excited to go and see the monuments.
And look at it, it's beautiful.
Hey guys, so it is day 2 of the FNM in DC seminar. It is India live again, reporting to you guys all of the very fun, interesting, exciting activities that we will be participating in. So right now we are heading onto a van. As you can see here, I have no idea where I'm going to be seated at, but we'll see. So yeah guys, I'll keep you updated throughout the day. Hey guys, it's India.
It's Natalie.
And we are on our way to our first event of the day. Gersh is also here with us. We're very excited that he has decided for today that he's going to be joining us along with recording.
So let me tell you guys something. Guys, quick intermission.
We are, you hold it actually. We are going to the the association fundraiser today. Really excited. This is going to be our first location. So we're going to keep you guys updated on that. And then later on, we're going to the Institute for Women's Research. And then after that, we are going to Bus Boys and Poets. So we're very excited to be experiencing this today. Who are we here with today?
Zach.
And
Owen. Yes, say your name.
and they are.
And who are you?
I'm Sujal.
And who are you?
Faisal.
Okay.
And so we are just gonna be documenting some things for you guys, as I did yesterday. Hi guys, it's India.
And it's me, Sujal.
And we are partners for the day, so we're gonna be documenting some of the things that we're gonna be visiting and doing today. So I'm really excited. Sujal, do you have any thoughts prior to the event?
This is our second day of FNM in DC trip. We're really excited, and we're with our cameraman Faisal Niazi.
Thank you, Faisal. Doing things with good intentions, but we're doing. Guys, so we just returned from the Association for Fundraising Professionals, AFP. I had a really, really great time just listening into the conversations about what these professionals do, especially learning about the focus of ethical fundraising. And making sure that there's advocacy as to how to properly fundraise and how to ensure that the bigger picture is actually being established in some capacity. And I really appreciate some of the words that former FNM student and our current alum and CEO of APA, H. Art Taylor, was speaking about in regards to how a lot of individuals restrict from providing funds to companies because they believe that there's not an immediate impact. But his whole philosophy is that as long as individuals are able to do something and that something is being changed, someone is being assisted, then that is better than nothing being done at all. So I greatly appreciate the conversations that I've had with individuals today, and I'm super excited for what's next. Hi guys, so we are at a cafe. This is the interim break prior to actually going inside of Busboys and Poets. So today I have this tea. This is an appleberry herbal tea. I added in some simple syrup and it's very delicious. But to update you guys, it's been quite a busy day. I cannot believe it's only like 3-4 p.m. But today we have gone to the Association for Fundraising Professionals, and then we've also gone to the Institute for Women's Policy Research. So now we are going to Busboys and Poets for our final event of the day. I'm very excited. Busboys and Poets hosts this annual, or what I believe to be an annual Peace Ball. Unfortunately, we won't be attending that. However, they held one this year prior to the MLK Memorial and the inauguration of the 45th president. And at that specific 2025 Peace Ball, Solange Knowles was actually there, and she was introduced by Angela Davis, which was quite beautiful to see. And yeah, so now we're just gonna be waiting to see what happens.
Hey y'all, it's Natalie.
And it's India.
And today we just finished talking to Stan Brand. He's a formal council member and he owns his own law firm. And we talked to him about his career, advice, and all of his journey throughout his life. And India, what do you think about that?
Yeah, it was honestly a really, really fruitful conversation with Stan Brand. I honestly did not know too much about him, which is unfortunate because he actually used to serve as part of the board of trustees at F&M. But I really appreciated the conversations that we had. It's great to hear from alumni about the different connections that you can make, not only within your own institutional network, but also learning some tips and tricks about connections that you can make in your respective fields. But it was a really fruitful conversation, and I'm really happy to have been part of it.
Thank you.
Natalie, you're photo bombing girls right now. Look cute.
How's the gym going?
Hello, this is us at the National Archives. I've been here once before, many years ago when I was a child, and I saw the Constitution and Bill of Rights and stuff like that, you know, with their original paper. But being older and wiser and going to college, I think I'm going to be able to appreciate it better, as well as the other types of exhibits that we're going to have about all the types of things. And my favorite part so far is these pictures on the wall here, because I love old-timey stuff and I'm very excited. So yeah.
Okay guys, so we just made it to the National Archives Museum, and we're gonna start with the Lawrence F. O'Brien Gallery that is over there. I think we're gonna start with that. Never mind. So we're gonna
Hi everyone, it's India. We just were looking at some of the tragedies that Japanese Americans and Japanese residents had to face during the World War II. One of the main things that I noticed and find to be quite concerning is the fact that there is little to no imagery of the internment camps that Japanese Americans and Japanese residents were confined to and forced to reside in for up to 4 years. Another thing that I noticed is how urgent, how almost immediate President Roosevelt responded to concerns over the safety of American citizens, and rather than trying to figure out better means of figuring out how to respond to the attack on Pearl Harbor, his immediate reaction was to completely isolate and completely separate and control the lives of hundreds and thousands of people who lived in the U.S. for hundreds of years. So it's just very, very unfortunate to look at such things and just be reminded of the negative aspects of our American government. Hi, it's India again, and I wanted to reference this photo specifically in regards to engaged citizenship. Now, these are African Americans who are fighting in World War II, and as you know, during these time periods, African Americans were still separated and still oppressed and still treated unfairly during these time periods. But rather than stepping away from what is seen to be the responsibility of American citizens, they still decided to fight in a war. And even within that war, I don't know if it's listed here, but there were, yes it is, a million African Americans trained and served in segregated units. So although they were fighting for the country as a whole, they were still being treated as though they were not actually Americans. But in my argument, I say that this is still an act of engaged citizenship, whether or not they were actually considered to be citizens, because of the fact that they recognized the nation as a country that they live in, and they found they had enough pride and enough and enough motivation and enough sentiments regarding the country to go and serve and to still be neglected as the American citizens that they are. Hi again, it's India, and I wanted to speak about social impact using these plaques, the information that is presented here. So as we've already spoken about, Japanese Americans and individuals who are living in Japan, in America, who are from Japanese descent, they were confined into internment camps by the U.S. government in response to the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor. And despite them doing that, you see here that they still fought in the war. So while many of their families were confined into these camps and neglected, they still decided to fight in a war for a country that disapproved of them, for a country that considered them to be aliens. And it's unfortunate because it says in 2011, the U.S. Congress belatedly recognized the extraordinary contributions of Japanese Americans who served in the military during World War II. Now, World War II had occurred years prior to 2011. However, they are now being recognized for their contributions in the war, considering the fact that the United States was literally disregarding them, literally not even considering them to be citizens in the country. So I would like to argue that this relates to social impact because these soldiers willingly chose to fight in the war that they did not necessarily have to fight in because the country did not recognize them as people who even deserve to be in the country. And in response to that, now Japanese Americans are being considered and recognized for all of the things that they have done back in the day. And although just this plaque and this recognition is not nearly sufficient, I would say reparation or sufficient acknowledgement of everything that had occurred, but it is still something to look at and admire as a very positive outcome of World War II. Hi again, it's India, and we were just looking at some of the anti-war protests and anti-draft protests, and as I was looking at this, I immediately thought this is the perfect example of social responsibility. As you know, many individuals were drafted into the war. They had no other choice. They had no decision as to whether they were going or not, and I was speaking to Matt regarding the war, and one of the things that he mentioned to me is the fact that some people would shoot themselves the moment they got into the war, shoot their foot in order to be sent back home because they did not want to fight in the war. And I truly appreciate the demonstrations that a lot of American citizens were doing in response to the government. Specifically here, this is the Army National Guardsmen. This is in San Francisco. This is in Wisconsin. I really appreciate and respect what they did because they recognized the fact that the war that they were fighting in, it was not a war that American citizens themselves had caused, had stirred up, had ignited. Rather, it was American citizens who wanted to step back away from going into a war and instead wanted to choose a means of making peace as a nation that holds a lot of power, especially in international waters. So I definitely recognize these demonstrations as a social responsibility because are you willing to potentially get kicked out of your house, potentially get disregarded and shamed for the rest of your life and for your generations to come for protesting against these wars? Or are you willing to just go ahead and choose to do so in order to ensure the safety and security and the overall well-being of citizens who at that time were eligible for being drafted? Oh, let's see. They've been like trying to get rid of violence.
So, apparently she went for a stay.
I almost got here. I was like trying to jump up, put my head in.
Franklin, I think that's supposed to be decided. You have to try it. There's way too much going on there. Optical illusion, the holes that you see are all. All 50 states, all the members of their delegation vote on which statue they want to represent the state. So if you see a statue.
Hi, it's India Freeman. We have just finished coming out of a voting session in the state capitol. This was our little pass that we received. I thought it was really interesting. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to hear too much as to what they were voting on, but to see the process of individuals voting, a lot of people saying yay, a lot of people saying nay, and then also seeing some senators that I personally know, obviously just based off of them being representatives. For instance, I saw Cory Booker, I saw Bernie Sanders. He actually waved at us while we were in the gallery, so that was really nice. But it was really nice to just see these individuals in person, especially Mitch McConnell. I've only ever seen his clips online, so to see him from the gallery was really, really cool. But ultimately, it was a great experience, and I'm excited to meet with Senator Cory Booker's staff later on.
One water bottle. Got it? Beautiful. All right.
Hi everyone, it's India, and today we had an extraordinary visit to the Capitol and also the Library of Congress. While we were at the Capitol, we had the great opportunity of meeting with Senator Cory Booker and meeting with some of his staff members, Felicia, and then also his fellow and honestly great co-worker, Mr. Butler. And while I was there, I truly learned more about some of the values that Senator Booker has has, getting to meet with him in person, it just shows not only the love that he has for individuals, but also the passion that he has for the work that he does in regards to his constituents. And me being from New Jersey allowed me to truly feel loved as one of his former constituents, as I now live in New York. But in regards to engaged citizenship, I truly believe that entire experience really embodied what it means to be an engaged citizen. Senator Booker, he's not in the Senate because he wants money. He's not in the Senate because of the prestige of the position or for the fame, but he's truly in the position because he cares about the people. And one of the main things that Mr. Butler was speaking to us about is the fact that Senator Booker wasn't one of those individuals who immediately got into Congress. No, it was rather that he had failed many times on his journey there. He ended up becoming the mayor of Newark, New Jersey, which honestly isn't an easy thing to do at all, especially considering the time he stated that the first time around he was going up against an incumbent, and if you know what that means, then you know that those individuals are more likely to be re-elected. But the second time around, he was able to establish himself because of the fact that he got engaged in the community and really put his name out there and truly showed constituents that he cares and wants to improve not only the education, the healthcare, but the overall state. And so I had an amazing time speaking to Mr. Booker and his staff members, and I was so excited to explore the Library of Congress and really see what we as American citizens have built together, and what we continue to hold true to our values and our society.
Hi everyone.
Hello.
It's Gershom
and India
and
Bill Huff.
And today we just spent some time, talking about identities and the impact on not only our personal lives, but the relationship we have with others and in certain experiences that we do. He also spoke some about his time at Georgetown and the steps he took to get to his current career. And it was so great having you. Any message to our viewers?
I mean, this group of young leaders is one of the most powerful groups I've worked with in a while, so can't wait to see all the great things they do here in the world. So thanks so much.
Thank you so much. Hi, it's India. We just finished speaking to Bill, who is one of the directors of residential operations at Georgetown University, and the experience was really nice. I thought that we would be mostly just speaking about his position and some of the work that he does at Georgetown. However, we did an actual identities roadmap, sort of, just looking at some of the social identities that we have, and discussing it with our peers. And I thought it was a great experience because I was not only able to obviously gain a better understanding of what other individuals associate themselves with in terms of like their respective identities, but also I thought it was a good conversation to just really think deeply about our different attributes. I feel as though it's very easy to just be focused on one mindset as to like, this is who I am today, but not really look at some of the aspects of your past life. And I think that this links deeply with social engagement, because if you don't know your specific identities, what you're passionate about, what makes you passionate about whatever you're interested in, then you won't really be able to thrive in a multifaceted realm of work, realm of advocacy, and just overall realm of life. So I thought it was a really great conversation, and I look forward to more.
Can you take a photo of me pretending to make a speech? And I love the college, and the professor knows this. Anything I can do to the college, anything to help you, maybe save you a bit of time.
Hi, it's India Freeman. We just finished speaking to an FNM alumni who is currently working at the delegation of the European Union, and I learned a lot. As my expression is in this video, I learned so much. One big component obviously being the love that the FNM community, the FNM Alumni Network has towards FNM students, how they are genuinely passionate and eager to assist FNM students and seeing them develop and grow regardless of whatever their academic pursuits are. One big thing. Another big thing is genuinely how important it is to have an international perspective. The FNM alumni, obviously, he's actually from Europe. So he's specifically from Greece, and he was explaining how when he came to the United States, how although he was here, he still wanted to hold on to the community that he had back at home, which is why he decided that the European Union would be the best particular place for him to tap into his public service ambitions while also being in an international setting. And so that is something that I thought about immediately as I am considering on studying abroad. Hopefully, I'll definitely be not only just looking wherever I go, not just being in the country to look at the differences between the United States and that particular country, but genuinely looking to see how I can possibly do work that aids my country and the people back home domestically while being in another setting. So I really, really enjoyed this conversation. It was very fruitful, and I look forward to further conversations in different spaces that we'll be part of. Hey guys, it's India, and I'm here with
Natalie.
And
that's
we
bloopers.
are
That's
going
bloopers.
to the
National History Museum.
No, it's the museum of, it's the National African American Museum.
Yes.
So y'all know this is my type of,
And you know this is my museum. Actually, I was the main curator for this museum.
You
believe it or
gotta
not, back when it was signed into the bill. Because, fun fact, it was actually an order by Congress for this idea to be made in 2003, and then it completed construction in 2016.
And what year were you born?
2004. So yes,
So-
I did help create the legislation to make this building, and I'm just so glad, like, it'll live on beyond my years as my legacy. Also, I built that.
And then show them.
And I built this. So also another fun fact, the architecture of the building is meant to represent a very common type of hairdress worn in Africa. Yes. So there's a type of hairdress that African royalty wore. It's like kind of like a hat, not a pentagon, but like it comes in layers also. But it's meant to resemble that. So it's very beautiful. You know, that was my idea as well.
Okay, so we have a professional with us today, which I'm very pleased. You know, you tend to learn about different facts from individuals who don't even work at the actual institution, which is quite interesting.
I already told you I don't work there, but I did work for this to be made. So, of course, I would know a lot.
Okay.
Clearly, you don't. Oh, look.
Anyways. Oh.
The color purple.
It's color of royalty, but tell me more.
It's right about how they designed this. Well, Gersh, you said that you designed it, so
I did design it. And
so maybe the people are wrong.
I also proposed a legislator to Congress to have this building established. So
I helped that.
What year were you born?
I don't really remember. I don't remember her being there though.
I don't remember you being there.
Well,
it's because y'all both were in diapers. So
no.
Where were
I was
you?
in my suit and tie.
I wasn't born yet.
I was in my.
Yes. So,
Putting me
what
on
are
the
your
spot.
thoughts prior to going inside?
I think it's going to be really interesting. I am looking forward to it, especially considering now that the museum is being defunded. I think this is a unique experience that, I won't be able to get in a couple years. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Hello everyone, it's India. I'm really excited that we're here today. This is actually my first time in this particular space. I thought that I came here a couple of years ago, but I believe I was at another location. But I'm really excited to be here. And just like Zach had mentioned earlier, the fact that this place is going to be defunded soon is really sad, but I'm really glad that I'm here to just experience this what's going to become a unique opportunity to visit such an institution and celebrate African American history and culture.
Civil rights hero. He really deserves his own movie, but I won't go into detail. But the
Hi again, it's India Freeman. I just finished viewing all of the floors here at the museum, and I had a lot of heartfelt moments, especially being downstairs and actually getting a sort of minimized experience of the slave ships and just reading about all of the different things that these people had done to Black individuals, turned them into commodities and completely stripped away the lineage, the heritage, the culture, the overall well-being, the quality of life of individuals, and those repercussions are still affecting generations, which made it even more sentimental to me. But in regards to engaged citizenship, when I was on one of the floors, it was talking about all of the different movements, and I had actually learned about a lot of these movements, thankfully, in my recent course, the Long Civil Rights Movement course taught by Professor Gregory Callis, and I was able to see not only the Olympics protesting, but also students protesting, and also just reflecting within myself that regardless of your age range, protest is an option that is available to everyone. And a lot of individuals did not have the ability to protest within educational institutions, and so instead they protested on the streets. Instead they protested in restaurants. There was just activism and movement and commotion everywhere, and I believe that engaged deeply with engaged citizenship, because these were people who were in different parts of the country but had the same understanding that the injustices that African Americans, and not only African Americans, but people of color were experiencing needed to be addressed in a form of protest, because through gathering is how individuals are able to reach millions across the world. So I really enjoyed my experience here. I'm really sad that I have to leave, but this was definitely an experience that will hold very closely to my heart.
Management and International Studies major. Was there a minor? Women's and gender. Women's and gender minor. And she was a Harwood scholar. Woo! She was we got 4 of them in the group. She studied abroad in Jordan. Was that as an Obama scholar?
It was as a Department of Defense scholar.
Department of Defense scholar, has incredible experience in that kind of space in foreign affairs. She's getting her master's from Georgetown in foreign affairs. And I know that there's been a lot of you today and over the course of this time we were together that have been interested in that and interested in exploring that. We met with Vasilis earlier last week, which was fantastic. We'll give her a much bigger floor after Ben's, and we'll let y'all have some chances to ask her questions, etc. I believe India, did she speak at your commencement?
Yes, yes.
Which is just really, really wonderful, and a lot of you all know her as well. We'll give her the floor after for more intense questions and to let her share a little bit more about her experience.
Yeah. Awesome.
Was on NBC, but he was another activist. We call Mayor Barry Mayor for life because he has done so much in uplifting the youth in DC and making the city helping make the city what it is today. You guys know who Dave Chappelle? So Dave Chappelle went to Duke Ellington, which was right down the street. So he used to come to the Chili Bowl before he was the Dave Chappelle that you guys know, and you guys know the work that he does. Does any of you guys know who this is? So this is Dick Gregory. I would love for you guys to look him up because, along with how we know Dr. King and Jesse Jackson and John Lewis and all of them during the civil rights, he was part of it as well. But a lot of people don't know his figure, but he was instrumental and an activist for that movement as well. But what was really cool to me that I'll never forget, when he found out this meant a lot to him and Ben's, just like with you all as you continue and you see what we do, it meant a lot to him that to be a part of this wall. So much so, before he died, he told his children he wanted his last stop before the cemetery to be here.
Wow.
So we literally did a march. The casket was held at Howard University, which is right up the street. From there to here, we used their band and the whole marching band and gave him the proper send-off. Then when he was here, his daughter is a singer. So she sang the last song, we held hands, and then he went on to the cemetery. So that's special to me. Jesse Jackson is for what I just said. Kathy Hughes, for those of you who don't know, she started a radio station here, WOL, and now she owns, I forgot how many, but she owns Radio 1 and TV 1. And a very, very, what I love, I'm humbled to say I call her a friend, but more just as what she's accomplished with radio and TV, she's just as incredible as a human being in giving back, and especially to the youth. And then Bruce Johnson, he's a local radio TV personality. If you look up any of these figures, you'll see how they've impacted impacted not only DC or the United States, but the world. So we have some remodeling to do. So I didn't finish the mural, but this one, my end goal is to add some local, like whether it's a firefighter or someone who is not local to this end. So that's coming one step, because I don't know once I do the remodeling how much this will be impacted, so I didn't want to keep doing it too, because I may have to redo that. Make a difference. Don't give up. Know those who walked before you and know those who will walk after you. And know in your moment of time, give it your best shot while living your best life and living your dreams. Don't forget that part. You're so welcome.
Guys, I just graduated in 2024, so that's why I know so many of you, and it's so glad to see you here in DC. A little bit of context as to who I am and what brought me to FNM. I came to FNM from New York City. I was born and raised in Queens. A big reason why I wanted to go to a small liberal arts college was because I knew I wanted to be a diplomat. I saw that FNM's mascot was a diplomat. I thought it'd be fitting. I had a great 4 years there. I mean, we started in the pandemic in 2020, and I think by the time I graduated, I saw a lot of changes happen to FNM, both in terms of administration and staff, but also through education policy. A big thing that I worked on while I was in FNM was DipCon. I was student body president. I worked with the educational policy committee. A lot of the focus that I had was really trying to make it an equitable campus on my way to becoming a global diplomat. And I think what was a really big motivator into coming into DC was the internship experiences I had. So that's part of what I wanted to talk to you guys about. I've heard some rumors and missiles that you guys are interested in some form of social impact in government. So if there's anything that I can help with, I'm happy to share about that. For a little bit more context, from freshman year to now, I was able to work at the DNC. I worked on the Hill with Congressman Andre Carson. I worked at the State Department for 2 consecutive summers, now about to be 3. So I worked at the U.S. Consulate in Dubai. I worked at the Secretary's Office of Global Women's Issues here in D.C. in Foggy Bottom. This summer, I'll be on the Near Eastern Affairs, the Middle Eastern Affairs desk at the State Department. I worked at the U.S. Department of Interior. I worked at a lot of different federal agencies, and I think that kind of geared me up to come to Georgetown. And right now, I'm getting my Master's of Science in Foreign Service, which is the oldest diplomacy program in the entire world. The idea is to train Foreign Service diplomats not just for the U.S., but globally. So after I graduate in May, the goal is to become a U.S. diplomat and hopefully represent the U.S. abroad. So happy to share a little bit more about either the Foreign Service track or Foreign Affairs, and especially with this weird environment when it comes to international development and foreign affairs. If you guys have any specific questions, happy to answer those.
Being able to meet the matriarch of Bench Chili Bill really opened my perspective as to the long-term impact that individuals can make simply by being loving and caring and kind and considerate of those in their community. Hey guys, it's India.
And it's Natalie.
And today we are volunteering at
the food.
How do we? Hey guys, it's India and I'm here with
Milo.
And we are at DC Central Kitchen. Milo, what are your thoughts before we get in?
I mean, I cook all the time at home, so I'm actually really excited to be able to do anything even closely resembling cooking, and the fact that it's doing it for a good cause is just, you know, icing on the cake.
I agree. I'm actually really excited as well. I used to work at a food pantry, so this is sort of, I believe it's sort of going to be like the same experience. I don't know if we're actually going to be serving food to individuals, but to just be able to cook for the community is really, really nice. So I'm excited for that.
Cut the veggies faster.
Oh, I look nice.
How do you do?
Oh no. No. Being able to volunteer at DC Central Kitchen was a privilege. I was able to communicate with several volunteers who were actually previous receivers of the food that is provided by the kitchen. And so it was really just a beautiful, phenomenal experience. And I truly believe that if we all take time to just volunteer to help out those in our community, we can make the world a better place. On this day, we spoke with Colin Moffett, who is the CEO and founder of Artemis Ward. And during this experience, I was able to ask some questions about how do we as engaged citizens consider the impact that artificial intelligence has on our environment. And his response, obviously, was he was a bit hesitant because we live in a world in which artificial intelligence is used on such a scale that it's almost impossible to choose a position in which you are not using a form of artificial intelligence. However, he was telling us the importance of being mindful and considerate, and if possible, utilizing it in minimal volumes in order to make a small amount of an impact that we would usually make on a day-to-day basis. Hi guys, it's India
and Natalie,
and we are currently at the World Bank. We are going to be hearing from a speaker for today. World Bank certified, not the little one, the big one, the actual one, the physical institution certified. Yeah, this is what it's like to be in DC, to be in a program such as the one we are currently a part of. We get to experience and be exposed to a variety of institutions and individuals who we most likely probably would not have ever had the opportunity of engaging with on the level and capacity that we have been doing thus far. So it's been really nice, guys. We are going to the next thing. Really excited for that. Hi everyone, it's India Freeman, and today we went to the World Bank and spoke with incredible employees who are doing work on an international scale. And while they were speaking to us, I was thinking about what is the true meaning of being an engaged citizen. And I realized that the work that they're doing is still considered to be a form of engaged citizenship, despite it being on an international scale. And that just ultimately allowed me to recognize that although I am currently in pursuit of doing works that are more local, I can still do things that are international and still be committed to the communities that I am a part of or the communities that I identify myself to be involved with. Hello everyone, so in this clip I was attempting to talk about the Arlington National Cemetery visit, but unfortunately I became distracted. However, in this particular day, we didn't take many photos and videos, obviously, because we wanted to be respectful of those who literally put their lives on the line for the sake of our freedom. And it truly reminded me of when we went to the Korean monument, the Korean War monument, and within obviously the photos, the imagery, there was something written in big letters, and it said, "Freedom is not for free." And I was thinking about that as I was at the cemetery, the fact that we today, that we can be so joyful. As you can see in this video with Natalie and I am putting on lip gloss and I'm smiling and I'm joyful. And this is because of what the individuals who unfortunately passed away during the war fought for. This is the impact. And many people, they're unable to see the impact that they've made. However, we are just so thankful. We are so thankful of what these individuals done. And this is social responsibility. This truly is social responsibility to consider what is currently happening. Back in those times, obviously, wars were happening. They considered that and they realized that if they did not fight, that the possibilities of me being here today would not be as it is, the possibilities would be diminished if people did not fight. And so I'm truly thankful. And this is social responsibility and engaged citizenship to its fullest extent. And we are very thankful. In our next visit, we had the phenomenal opportunity of visiting Thurgood Marshall Institute, the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, with F&M alumni Keisha Moore. This experience was phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. We spoke to herself and fellow colleagues about the work that they are doing in our communities, how they were involved during the Black Lives Matter movement, and all of the research that they are currently doing to basically allow this world to realize the disparities and the injustices that people of color are facing on a day-to-day basis. And they're doing this through the means of education. And I was just reminded of Thurgood Marshall and his own individual initiatives. He valued education because he knew that those who are educated, that they are able to create institutions such as Thurgood Marshall Institute to establish and accredit itself based on the research that they are able to conduct that is valuable, that is sufficient to address the disparities within different communities, different marginalized communities. And it was just a great and phenomenal opportunity to speak to Keisha Moore. And towards the end of this video, as you are seeing right now, we are giving flowers to our instructors, Professor Rondini and Matt Thomas, who did a phenomenal job with just allowing us to see and to live the life of a sociologist, to not just walk the streets of Washington, D.C., but to think critically, why is it that Washington, D.C. is separated in the capacity that it is currently separated? Why is it that the individuals that we are speaking to who are a part of these different a part of these companies such as the World Bank or even the Association for Fundraising Professionals, why they are so passionate about the work that they are doing? And it's because they understand and think through the lens of sociologists, in which they know that there are systems and foundations in place today that were established years before that are still causing disparities in different communities. And so I truly just thank Professor Rondini for constructing this class. I think the F&M community for allowing for this course to even go through to the capacity and the extent that it went through. I speak on behalf of my classmates that our lives are truly changed forever. Thank you. And I thank Matt Thomas especially for being absolutely phenomenal in assisting. And he is always so supportive, always quick to assist, to go beyond, to ensure that us as students, that we are able to truly enjoy the course and truly get a broader understanding of everything that is around us. And it was only fitting that I included these clips and these images of myself with my fellow classmates who just could not believe that this course would be so significant to the extent that it was. Thank you.
Give me a day.
Stop looking at it. You looking at it and it's
I didn't even look at it, Gersh.
Yeah, Gersh.
It's a shift, bro.
Whatever. Just roll it. Let it roll.